Okay. Good morning. Good yor, everybody. And a good yontif. I hope everybody's yontif was wonderful. And welcome to Tanya today. Rabbi Ronnie Fott coming to you from Chabad Zichron Kadeshim, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. We welcome Robert from Boston, Shalom. Davida and Liba from New York, good morning. Dam is with us in Indonesia. Asher in Memphis, Tennessee. Shana Tova. Eugenia from Calgary. Boker Tov. Who else is joining us? Getting a slow start over here. Mediante Telebenta, we have Santi, Flavio, McCoy, Sarah, a few others on Instagram. We have Bachi with us, Vilma, Adam, David, Michelle, Sina, Austin, Celeste, Andre, Liana, Adi, Margot, Selena, Rita, Daniel. Okay. Wonderful. Curtis from Denver, Julie from Florida. Okay. Beautiful. We continue in the 20th letter, the major Kabbalistic teachings that I'll try to make some sense for and bring some clarity, because it's a very detailed and challenging to understand the power of Creator within creation. You know, we could just accept it, that God is the power, He is the Creator, and He's the one who creates. But with Chabad teachings, it's about trying to understand the detailed manner in which God creates, which God makes us privy, that we can have that understanding, which is wow. So what we're going to learn today is about 3 different components in creation that are occurring all at the same time and provide different aspects to creation. 2 of them are going to be more based on sort of the nature of the world, and 1 beyond nature. Beyond nature. 2 are about the extension of life from above, and 1 is from the essence of life from above. So let me try to give this over. Now, we know when we refer to God in this reference over here, it's Ein Sof, which translates without limit. God that's beyond any form of description. No parameters, so to speak. Which in the human condition, everything has a parameter, everything has a definition. Otherwise, you can't have any kind of conversation or relationship to anything or to anyone without definitions, right? But the Ein Sof is that way. Now, in order that there should be some kind of higher, lower So that's the concept. The first thing that was created was, or not created, that emerges is the kav. Kav means a line. A line means there's the top of a line, there's the middle, there's the bottom, right? That's already the power of the potential power of limitation. That itself has got a definition somewhat to it, so to speak. So, so this kav, there's the essence of the kav. Again, kav means a line. From the Ein Sof, there was, as the Sefer Yetzirah explains, a withdrawal of the Ein Sof of God, a removal that created a void. From that void comes a line. Before that, there's no dimension. There's nothing. Now there is a dimension called a kav, right? Again, top of the line, bottom of the line, so to speak, right? There's higher, lowers, in not spatial, actually in potential even. So, within Malchus of Atzilus, we've learned, right? Malchus of Atzilus, Atzilus, the world of emanation. Malchus is the power that's vested within it. We went to great detail to explain that. The power of Yesh Miyayin, of something from nothing, that it creates. It's the power of creator to create. So in that, there's also present the radiation of the kav from the infinite Ein Sof. Now, it's vested in Malchus of Atzilus. Everything there is divine. And, we're talking about now, from there, how does it come to the worlds? And when we speak about worlds, there's spiritual worlds, and then finally this physical world. So it needs to break through. It needs a breakthrough, because from the world of emanation, which is the as I've explained previously, that's kind of like God's last name. God's first name is God, Ein Sof, right? Beyond anything. And then his last name, as it were, is godliness, which is the divine attributes in the world of Atzilus, the world of emanation, that which emanates from God. It's like there's the person, and then the aura of a person, so to speak. Yeah, or a metaphor. So now, the kav, the ray of the kav, right? It radiates, invests itself in Atzilus, and then it pierces what we call a parsa, the division, the curtain that divides between emanator and creation, and it radiates into the divine aspect of those worlds, which is the neshama light of that together with the vessels, like we explained it at length previously. In the world of Bria, Yitzhak, and Asiya, the three spiritual worlds, and it's there just as it is in Atzilus, in the world of Atzilus. It breaks through, because it's breaking through into a created world as opposed to an emanated being, right? And therefore, it's the power of Malchus of each individual world to create the things in the world of Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya. Okay. Now, in doing so, what it creates is that which is the nature of the things that are to be created in those worlds, whether it's angels in those worlds, souls in those worlds, heicholos, different, it's like we have a physical world, so the counterpart in the spiritual world, there's also, you know, buildings and the like. Sorry. Okay. And different components, compartments, divisions of that world. Okay. Now, so that's one component. That's creating the sort of the nature of things, which we'll get more into that. Now, at the same time, there's also not just the ray of the kav, not just the ray, but the kav itself, right? The line itself, as we explain. It too comes into this world, and it becomes the source of those things that are wondrous within nature. Not nature as nature itself, right? That you kind of lose the power of the creator. But here there's a wonderment that is perceived in creation. Now, so let's understand. When we speak about radiation of the kav, as opposed to the kav itself, right? So, in the radiation as it comes into this world, so there's three components to it. There's the radiation itself, which means, that which radiates and then becomes the source of what it creates. It's going to be of the same essence. So that which it creates will sense its source. But then you have a radiation of a radiation, and that means it's more removed in that it's not the same essence light. There's only some kind of the fact of the light that remains. It doesn't sense its source in the same manner. But then there is of this world, as the light comes down, of the kav, there's a radiation of a radiation of a radiation. And what that means is that it is so far removed, the light, that that which it creates is totally unaware of its source. It has a sense of own selfhood. It has a sense of its own being, that it was created, formed, or made as a result. And what's hidden is, of course, the Ein Sof, the fact of God, is very hidden from that created being, that it doesn't have a sense of where it comes from. What does it mean it doesn't have a sense? It means think of our natural inclination, not because we've learned Tanya, but of creation. We're working on ourselves. So by working on ourselves and becoming aware, we're adding something. But the creation itself, right, doesn't sense, is removed by a radiation of a radiation of a radiation, right, of the light of the kav, that it doesn't sense that it has anything. The only thing that its source, the only thing that it does sense is a sense that there's purpose. There's a rhyme or reason to things, but that purpose, we'd have to come to arrive to it, that it's something greater than myself, and it's that there's a God to serve, and so on. But we're talking here not about, we're talking about the nature of creation. So it comes out of this, in this second, so there's two components, right? There's the radiation of the Kav. There's the Kav itself. The Kav itself, as it comes into this world and creates, it creates things in a manner that leaves a sense of wonderment. That there are things, that there's a wonderment within nature. That now, the ray of the light of the Kav, not the Kav itself, but the ray of the light, right? So what it does in creation is those things that are directly from the ray sense their source. Those that are a ray of the ray don't sense, they sense only the fact of the light. The ray of the ray of the ray, they don't sense their source at all, but they do sense a sense of purpose. That there is purpose. Very, I guess in a simple manner, you look at the world and you see that everything is, that there's a sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? Order. Yes, there's order in the world. So that brings a person to understand that there's nature. It's only nature. There's nothing wondrous by the light of the light of the light. There's, or the ray of the ray, right? There's nothing wondrous here, but there is something purposeful here because you sense order. It's not chaotic, right? When you look at the world, you don't see chaos. I mean, people might be introducing chaos into the world, but I'm not talking about people. We're talking about creation itself, right? We sense order, hence purpose. Now, what that means, that it's a wonderment, that it comes, that it's, that is wonders within nature, again, that's another component of the creative force. Okay, those are two. Now, there's a third element. This third element is the essence of the Ein Sof itself. It can no way be contained in time and space. So it cannot be said of it that this is a light to be found in Atzilus in one manner, and in the worlds of Bria, Yitzir, and Asiya in another manner. It's Ein Sof. So even the emanation of God in Atzilus, it encompassing all the worlds, including Atzilus, equally. As God says, I fill the heavens and the earth uniformly. That there's no place devoid of Him, even in the physical world. How so? In an encircling, encompassing way. What we spoke about till now was the Kav. The Kav is the source of finitude, and it enters into the creative process in a manner that is encompass, or that illuminates from within the world, whether it's the nature of the world or whether it is the wonderment of the world, but it is all connected to world, right? But the Ein Sof itself, we're not talking about the extension of life force now. That's by way of the Kav, that's the extension of life force. But the Ein Sof itself encompasses everything in creation. What does that mean? It encompasses everything in creation, but where does it find its expression specifically? Well, remember that the Ein Sof is the power of God to create something from nothing. Right? That's only a power of God. Yesh mi'ayin. So again, before we get to that point, I want to reiterate the point over here of three things in the process over here of creation. Two are about the nature of this world. The nature of this world is that we can find purpose by the fact that there's order in this world. And then there's also wonderment in this world. That all comes from the Kav, either from the Ray of the Ray of the Ray, or the essence of the Kav, as it expresses itself in this world. But then there is that which sort of is beyond. That's the essence of the Ein Sof itself. That is all-encompassing. It doesn't permeate the worlds meaning within the structure of the world, within the created being's limitation. Right? That essence of the Ein Sof encompasses everything in the power of creation of something from nothing.